Yeah, for Xavier, a lot of big buckets for you down the stretch in a close game. Just what does that mean to you to have that faith from your coaches and your teammates to trust you in those kind of situations down the stretch?
I think it's really big. I think it's built over the whole season, just not just for me, but guys like Reek. Like he has trust in us, to pull out big wins and big games, and trust us to have the ball in the hand to make the right decisions.
And then for Tariq, a double-double for you tonight. Big game, did it on both sides of the court. Just how does it feel to lead this team to a third straight conference win now?
I feel great. We started off rusty early, 0-8, so just building up the wins feel wonderful. The double double don't really mean a lot to me. I just wanted to get the W tonight.
Absolutely. And then for both you guys, a lot of injuries right now throughout the team. And I think you guys are only like 8 deep tonight. What does it say about this team to still be able to go out there and compete and get wins, even with all the guys that are out right now?
I mean, we just trust the process. Our out guys support us as they being out, and we get in the gym every day, going to practice with the mindset that we got to get better every day, and that's what we do. Put the work in and go out there and perform.
And like you said, the guys that's injured, we still get the love and support from them, But it's next man up. We still got to produce. We still got to play to win, no matter who's on the court. So.
Absolutely. And then what did you guys think of the performance from Harvin and Yannick tonight? You guys kind of dominated the glass, a lot of blocks. What did you think of the big guys tonight, making a lot of those hustle, impact kind of plays?
I think those were really big because it got us in transition, and that's when I feel like we're best when we're in transition, getting Reek out on the open floor, and we're getting downhill, Will getting that dunk, like getting those blocks really gets us in transition. So that's big.
That's all I got.
What was the key to making the big plays down the stretch? Like, what was the mindset when it was tight there at the end?
My mindset pretty much was I seen that they couldn't stop X. I always tell X he's the best sophomore in the conference, maybe the state, country. So I really was just I'm gonna get X the ball, and he went and executed every time he gave him the ball.
Thank you.
How about you with having the ball in your hands? What was your, like I said, in those tight moments at the end of the game?
I mean, I just tried to stay composed and try not to force the shot, look for the best shot. Yeah, that's all I got.
And how about making the free throws? How important, has that now become down to, especially late, but also throughout the game?
Free throws.
Had a hard time.
Yeah, free throws is definitely an important part of the game because every point counts. Every 1 point counts. So I feel like we got to get back in the gym, work on our free throws, and yeah.
And then maybe outside the free throws, what are some other things you guys are working on to keep this streak of conference wins going?
I think we don't look like it, but we're trying to stay healthy because we're playing a lot of games. So we're trying to stay healthy and just coming in practice. We're working on a lot of skill work, making shots, coming off screens, this and that. So just try to stay, updating our skill stuff so we can, go out and produce.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Coach, start us off with a statement about tonight's game.
It was a gritty win. It wasn't pretty at times, but it was a collective group who played with a purpose for 40 minutes, similar to what we did to start the streak versus Easton being down 3 at half. Didn't quite play well in the first half in regards from a statistical category standpoint, but the effort was there. Will Levin Watts had some big plays. X was X today. Nutter really helped us on the glass with 12. That was a big part of our game plan, was pounding them on the backboard because they switched. We thought they would play some zone a little bit more coming out of the Bowling Green game, and then us playing against South Alabama. They didn't, which was good for us because we were able to run our entire offense of playbook. But, yeah, the guys play hard. And, we're in a desperate situation in regards to trying to win games. And so these guys understand that every possession mattered, and we stepped up when we needed to. I think we led 29 minutes of the game. And the guys played the right way, and our players who needed to step up stepped up, whether it was Will Levin Watts, Xavier, Yannick had some huge blocks, big-time rebounds, and Nutter made some great plays. And John Russell played 39 minutes, 2 assists, no turnovers, which is huge, especially when you have the ball in your hands as much as he did to start the game. But I thought the guys played the right way, and we got to continue to have good days in practice, and we got to get healthy so we can add another body to the fray so we can get some of these minutes down because we got a tough stretch to get to Cleveland.
Yeah, Coach, given the amount of injuries that you have right now that you were talking about, what does it say about the guys that were out there tonight? You guys only went 8 deep, but they were still out there, still able to go out there and get a win.
Yeah, it's these guys. These guys are committed, and when you go through a season like we have this year, it forces you to be a tight-knit group, and it forces you to play for each other, because we had high expectations going into the year, and we stumbled. We didn't have a good December or January, but these guys didn't break. They didn't complain. They didn't point fingers. They stayed together, and at the end of the day, I always tell them no one's going to care anyway. So the games are going to be played, right? So you might as well go out and compete at the right way and try to play for each other. And I think we're doing that over the last 3 or 4 games.
And then you talked about X already a little bit. Obviously, he was the leading scorer tonight, 25 points. But what does it say about him, a guy that missed a ton of time last year, is only a sophomore, and you guys had all the trust in him to go to him down the stretch in these close games?
Well, he was a guy that, when I got the job, was a priority because I thought his talent was a program changer for us. He's still young in his development. He's still learning how good he is and what is required for him to reach the height of his talents. And so that's a process with him. But on an average night, he's a really good ball player because he's a matchup nightmare at 6'8", and he's physical and he's strong and he can shoot. It's an effort department that he's got to continue to bring it. But he's a guy that can, and he's done it all year. So we're not surprised when we call his number, he answers.
But then you mentioned those effort plays, from guys like Yannick, guys like Arvin, guys like Will. How big were those in pulling out a tight win tonight?
Huge. And when you're not, and we didn't shoot the ball particularly well. I think we shot 44% from the field. Right, you got to have second and third attempts at the basket, and I think we had 11 offensive rebounds. We had 14 second chance points. Like that's a loud number when you're not shooting the ball particularly well and you're struggling on the offensive end. And so like our effort and energy is gonna keep us in games, and our focus, the details, is gonna keep us in games. Right, I can't predict, nor can they, when they're gonna make shots. Right, but you can predict how hard you're gonna play. And it comes to will, ours versus theirs. How much you want to win. You'll show it on the defensive end and on the glass. And I think these guys are buying into that because that's got to be our identity in order to make it to Cleveland.
Absolutely. And then what do you think has changed the most? Obviously, you guys started 0-8 in the MAC, now 3 straight conference wins. What do you think has changed the most, and how do you keep those things up, going forward here down the stretch?
I think trust. I think at the end of the day, the trust is different than it was a couple weeks ago. Sometimes, young kids, young student athletes don't understand what it takes to win on a consistent basis, and they don't understand, in a team sport, what you do affects me. It's like in football, if you're if you know it's a running play and you're a wide receiver and you don't run your route to give off the impression that it's a pass play, then your guy can sit and disrupt the running play. And so knowing what value you bring and then doing it every day. Everyone has to do your job and do their job. And I thought on that horrible stretch, everyone wanted to be the hero and get it back all at once. And that just brought us further away from what we needed to do. Now we're desperate. We have to play the right way. We have no choice. Every game matters. And so our margin of error is slim, but these guys are understanding what it takes to go out every day, treatment, rehab, hydration, being in the right frame of mind to come to practice, and then start over the next day.
And I just got one more for you. Obviously, you mentioned you guys are trying to get healthy. You guys are especially thin at the guard position. Are there any timetables for those guys that are, missing right now?
Yeah, I'm hoping we'll get 2 bodies back in the next 48 hours going into Kent. That will obviously give us tremendous boost, not just with numbers, but energy. And the key is, we got a stretch that is must wins. We got to get Xavier and Will Levin Watts. They're coming back off of another, they play 80 minutes the last 2 games, right? So that's not sustainable at the level we got to play in the games that we got to win. So these guys coming back is going to add depth, but also give these guys chances to get rest and stay healthy.
How big is it to be able to make those plays down the stretch that you made tonight, going forward, to be able to take into this next, game and after that?
That's a great question. It's tremendous because we've lost these games a month ago, right? Whether you're at Central, double overtime, Monmouth, buzzer beater, right? We've been in these situations, right? We won them in November, lost them in December and January. Now we're in February, we're winning these games, right? So lessons, of the seasons are paying dividends because we really honed in on those things to we're going to be in these scenarios again, right? We were just at Central Michigan where Q, McPherson, Western Michigan had a chance to win it in regulation. He missed. Well, we had 2 guys do that tonight, and luckily Xavier Amos banged one to put it up to 5. All right, so those situations are deja vu, and so that's the key. Can we make the adjustments based on stuff that we've been through in the past, right? 'Cause that's the only way losing, you can offset it if you only make the corrections, right? And so we're learning from our mistakes, but that's a great question. Those plays in December and January we didn't make. Now we are, and that's just come from experience and being present in the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.